Here we are again, Women's Co-op, bringing you our view. To my left, I have the lovely Valerie Whitney, Program Coordinator for Women's Co-op.
Good evening.
To my right, I have Kayla Johnson, Work Experience Recruiter, or Work Experience Trainer and Administrative Assistant. And to her right is the lovely Mia Henry, who is a Work Experience Trainer and Recruiter. Your guys' titles are too long and confusing.
That's right.
What they really do is what, Mia? What do you do?
We help find employment for people looking, in a nutshell.
Right.
Yeah,
And train them.
and train them. Correct.
Kayla, what do you do?
I do the in-house training for our training programs, janitorial, clerical, cricket, and sewing. So I run usually about 2 to 6, sometimes 8-week programs with folks, and then I also assist Valerie and Teresa on a daily basis.
That's where the administrative assistant part comes in, right?
Yes.
Is that the favorite part of your job? It is, isn't it?
Sure.
Did you see the look on her
I did.
face?
I seen her.
It's like, did you see it, Mia?
I'm making. I'm making a list.
I'm making a list.
So, January 2023, here we are. And we wanted to spend some time tonight talking about what we talked about in 2022 and holding ourselves accountable to what was it that Women's Co-op did to affect or change any of those things. And so I think the highlight of what we hit last year, right, was the mental health epidemic in our community and how it was being addressed. Recreation, how much recreation there was for families and if they were able to access it. Housing was huge. I think we spent a couple shows talking about housing and its access.
Absolutely.
Job opportunities, we talked about that because there are opportunities there, right, Mia? I mean, you work with several different employers locally and you know that the opportunities are there. And it's not just that people don't want those opportunities, it's that there really are barriers.
There are barriers.
To those things. And then we talked about health access a lot, and then just the barriers that exist in our community for poverty. So, all that being said, what did we do in 2022 to make a difference in any of this stuff? So I think the one thing that we did that we're really excited about is one of the barriers to poverty is having a driver's license, solid, with nothing attached to it. Kayla and Mia, why is this important? And what happens that people don't have it?
Well, personally, I had a transportation barrier for a very long time. To be completely transparent, my license was suspended for quite a while due to driver responsibility fees before they changed the law and kind of wiped them out. So I was caught in this perpetual, I gotta go to work, I got a car, I gotta drive, but if I get pulled over and my tags are expired, that's a ticket, on top of another ticket, on top of a driver responsibility fee. So it kind of kept escalating. So it was a huge barrier. You have to, transportation is not always available depending on what shift you work. I work third shift. It was difficult to get to work if I didn't drive, so I know firsthand that not having a valid license is almost as much of a barrier as not having a car, to be honest. And when I finally did get my driver's license, I got my chauffeur license, and I'm working on my CDL because now I'm going to drive everything.
You tell me I can't drive nothing.
I'm going to drive everything.
I'll drive it all.
I'm no longer afraid of the police behind me, all of that. I do have a forklift license.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so.
Okay, well, yeah, I mean, for pretty much exactly what Mia just said, we have people in our training programs and in street court who are doing all of the right things. They're going to work, they're taking care of their home and their children, they're showing up to court, all these things, but in order to get to all those places, they have to drive. So like you said, either they don't have a car or they do have a car and they don't have a license. They have places to be. So one way or another, they're going to figure it out or they're not going to go, blah, 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 blah. But if they are driving and they don't have a license, meanwhile, they are doing A, B, and C, and D to make things better. They're picking up 1, 2, 6, 10 driving on a suspended driver's license. And I think that's the most common one that we see at Co-op.
Yeah.
Which is frustrating to us because we just put a participant in street court. Tell us about Street Court Battle. Street Court Battle Creek.
Street Court Battle Creek is a program. It's a specialty court for nonviolent misdemeanor charges. What we typically see in there is driving while license suspended, revoked, denied, and some traffic, speeding, unpaid parking tickets, night parking, holy cow. So we see a lot of those in street court.
And we
what you
just
do,
put a client through, got his warrants lifted, got him solid.
Yep,
He was 2 weeks into it when he got caught driving again.
yep, going to work.
Another $600 fine.
Yep.
Because you're right. Like, I have a job. I have to get there. I mean, I'm not saying these are wise decisions. They're decisions. They're choices.
It's a gamble.
It's a survival.
It's just stay from in front of the police. You know, it's just a gamble.
Right.
Every time you get in the car, you just hope this is the day I don't get pulled over.
Right. That's what he said. And he said a lot of times, just driving to and from work is not the only thing he has to do.
Right.
Like he has children he has to drop off at daycare. His significant other works a totally opposite shift of him. So in order for him to be a participant in street court, he has to do some volunteer community service hours. And so in order to do that, he doesn't live in the city of Battle Creek. He lives in rural areas. So he can't take a bus. He can't walk. So he has to drive.
Right.
It's either that or you just sit there in limbo, like
Right.
Yeah.
Mia said. Like, you're just stuck right there.
Stuck, right.
And-
Right.
And I think like
Yeah.
I hear, well, just don't get in trouble then.
Yeah.
Like,
still
okay,
drive,
well,
don't get
I
caught.
got in trouble
Just pay your fines.
13 years ago, and the system, the process of getting a license back just seems to be such a huge hurdle that, like, hey, I have been okay for like the last 6 years, but just the process alone is just so long and just consuming that, like, it's not just, oh, don't do it again, you know, like, and now I'm stuck in this process, and it's just crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Well, so the good news is, peeps, and peeps, we have been talking with the Attorney General's office and their counsel. They are developing their calendar for the 2023 schedule for driver restoration clinics. And it is really highly probable that Women's Co-op will get to host one of those driver responsibility clinics in Battle Creek this year on the 2023
Nice.
calendar. So pretty excited about that.
Yeah. And I think that's so.
Dana, if you're
Listen.
listening, please remember how bad we really want this and make sure we're on that schedule because Battle Creek needs this. Does
Yes.
anybody think that Dana Nessel listens to the show? She should, right?
Yeah, she absolutely should.
Every politician should listen to this show. Let's tell Jim Hodsma and he'll tell everyone.
Yeah, let me just say this really quick. I think it is so important for, especially, I'm going to speak for just co-op and the people that we see that this issue is affecting. I think that so often driver's licenses, like getting in the car, is just like a, here I go, you know, that kind of thing. But for folks who are doing it on a gamble, like what today, not, you know, and then spending your whole drive looking over your shoulder, it just adds this stress to your daily life. I think that, like, if somebody who didn't have a license for so long and was going through all of these tickets and process in court and money could get that back, I think that would just kind of feel like such like an uplift in their spirit, and that's why it's so important.
You know, speaking of that stress, I think about this a lot, right? So everybody gets stressed out that I have to go to work today and I have to get out in time to pick up the kids, and let me not forget I got to pick up coffee and milk on my way home, and the dog has a vet appointment, and you think, this is so stressful. But have you ever thought about what that stress would be like if you couldn't afford your gallon of milk that you needed? Or that your dog was sick and a vet was not even an option? Or that getting to work was such a struggle that you had to drive without a driver's license, or you don't even have a vehicle and so you're dependent on other people. Like, if we can all understand what that daily stress plate is like, then just carry that a step further to imagine what it's like for someone who doesn't have the resources to get through it.
That's why poor people are unhealthy, stress.
Yeah.
Amen.
And so that's why we have a network of people. What do our network of people do? Val and Kayla and Mia.
Everything.
Everything.
Y'all
Help
really
each
do.
other.
I wish I would have known about street court 5 years ago, 4 years ago. I tell people that all the time. Do you guys know what street court is? Like, the amazing resource.
There are some amazing resources through that network, but I think what makes it so amazing is the families we serve, which incidentally, Battle Creek, we're talking about families in that 60% margin of poverty who barely have anything themselves, who are facing these stressful struggles, who step up at our organization on a daily to serve each other. Like we all serve, but our families serve as well. Like they're what makes the wheels go round at Co-op.
Yep.
Yep, absolutely. So I have a story to share about that. You know, we talk about these housing issues, and that's what we're going to move to next. But we've had to find unique ways to solve these things. Now, look, I'm a good person, and I will give of myself a lot. But moving someone into your home seems really invasive and seems like a lot to ask somebody to give. But do you know we currently have co-op members that are housing other co-op members that they didn't even know because they felt so badly about them being faced with sleeping in the streets. And I just think that's amazing that these families that barely have a roof over their head themselves are taking in others to combat this issue. And for me, it's like I want to gather up all of my friends and all of my colleagues and go, look what these people are doing over here. Like, we need to do better over here. And no, I'm not suggesting that all of my colleagues and friends open up their houses and start moving people in, because I'm not even going to do that. But we need to do better. When we see people given the last slice of bread they have in a loaf on a daily, I think that the people that have the means to be able to do it or to do things to make that better really need to see and understand that and do better.
Yep.
Yep.
I agree.
So we're working on that this year, right? Because taking this pony show on the road, we've been visiting different organizations around town. If you're an organization that wants to have a deeper conversation about poverty and what it looks like to serve your families better, reach out to one of us, any of us. All of our emails are really super simple. You just have to know our name and then at Women's Co-op. And if you can't remember that, or you don't know how to spell our names because, I don't know, I guess maybe only mine is complicated, but you can go to our website, which has all of that information on there for you to contact us. So, and if you want to be a part of our network in some way, you can do that as well from that website. Yep. So the home thing, let's talk about that. What did we do about that? Well, nothing yet. Nothing substantial anyway. But we are in partnership with Trinity Lutheran Church and talking to them. They have, what is the acreage size? Do you remember that? A lot of land. How about if we just say that? They have a lot of land that their church is on, and they want to use that land to produce tiny homes and allow folks to use these tiny homes as a jumping off place for their own home ownership, because this would be an easy, affordable way for them to be able to engage in our training programs, so that gives them the income, get affordable housing right there, and then have Trinity Lutheran Church, which is changing and growing and evolving to not be a church, but be a community center for the neighborhood. Not that they won't still be hosting church there. Nobody gets alarmed. The sanctuary is still theirs. We have taken over every other aspect of that church, not the sanctuary, although we do use it at times. But the church is okay with this because they know that what they have to offer that neighborhood is their building.
Right.
And so, you know, being able to put people who have supervised visitation can visit in our building. People who need Wi-Fi can access it there. People who need a tablet or a computer can access it there. And we hope that these conversations about tiny homes comes to fruition in the way of having these tiny homes. So if you're out there and this is something that you feel passionate about and you can help us move this work forward, you can contact Reverend Pastor Shurston Pretty at Trinity Lutheran Church, or you can contact us again through the website. Oh, she's not pretty anymore. She's Sullivan. She's still pretty. Her name is just not pretty. Anything else we want to say about the housing thing? I mean, we haven't really done anything else this year for it, other than talk about it to everybody exhaustively that we know. From landlords to units to folks to people who have the power to build things other than hotels. Like we've talked exhaustively about it.
Yeah, I think tiny homes is the biggest and
Brightest.
the brightest that's in the works. I think the other things that we've kind of come up with have just been conversations. So I think this is where we're going to go.
Yeah, we're going to try anyway. And then we talked a lot about the barriers to poverty And one thing that Kayla and I are really excited about pulling off this year is that we are going to partner and do Bridges Out of Poverty classes. We're not letting me and Val play. Do something. You guys have to come up with something cool because look what we did. We went up with something really cool. Did you guys come up with something really cool?
Sure.
We're just not disclosing it right now.
Yeah, we're not.
Oh, you're just not disclosing
not
right now.
disclosing at this moment.
Oh, okay. We gotcha. Do you believe them?
Yes, I do.
Okay. I maybe do too. Anyway, Bridges Out of Poverty classes. We are going to offer these like they are on steroids because we are going to offer them all across the community in your neighborhood. Promise there will be something there for you. And we're actually going to pay participants to be investigators in our Bridges Out of Poverty classes to not only investigate their own situations and why they're in poverty, but to also investigate why poverty is at 60% in our community, sounds like,
Yep.
right? Yeah. So, and then we'd like to take all of the things that we learn from our families over a 2-3 year span and share this data with funders and people in the community who can make a difference with the data that we give them. But what we're really excited about is because the whole reason that we sit at this table every month is because we like it. No. It's because we like Jason and Dale and all the people at Access Vision. But the reason we sit at this table every month is because our responsibility is to bring the voice of the families that we serve here.
Right.
So that people in our community can understand what being in poverty, what that view looks like. Because you can see poverty across the street all day long and think you know what it is, but have you seen that view from poverty? And that's why we're here. I forgot where I was going with this.
Bridges Out of Poverty classes.
Yeah, I think that one is really, 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 really super cool because, like Teresa and I spoke, I think that it's nice to be able to offer a class where wealth may just be like interested in taking a class and they can schedule that into their date books or whatever that is. But sometimes our people in poverty, they want to be able to learn something or do something, but the time, the transportation, all the barriers don't line up in order for them to do that. So being able to pay the stipend is so amazing because no, it's not that money fixes everything and makes everything better, but being able to put that incentive into somebody in poverty's world is like, okay, yes, like I can definitely put this as a priority, like I'm going to be making money while I'm there and get to learn something. Like that is a double bonus, and it's information that our people in poverty need to be able to maintain the little stipends that we're able to pay them, and it's just such a huge plus, and it's going to be good.
Yeah, I agree. And I mean, the sessions are an hour and a half long, and participants get paid $20 per session. So roughly about $20 an hour for your time. And the second session every week, we make a meal and serve you a meal so you don't have to worry about dinner that night. And there is some really valuable information in that class. So we're excited about that. And then Mia and Kayla and Val, all three, well, maybe not Kayla as much. Maybe this is your guys' thing that you can disclose. You guys are working on bringing new pathways to our work experience program. So we've talked about bringing some allied health in. Mia, you've got some things you're excited about too, that you'd like to, different employers that you'd like to bring to the table so that it's not just manufacturing and
clerical.
production.
I get a lot of questions about clerical. Do you have clerical? Do you have clerical? I'm like, oh.
And we train clerical folks,
Yep, absolutely. Which
so
is the best
some
part
outside
about it.
partners would be amazing.
We can actually say that they are experienced in receptionist duties and administration duties. So that's really exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Yeah, for your people to have somewhere to go. Like you spend a lot of time training them, and I think it's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely, because we're not always able to place them in clerical positions.
Right.
Sometimes we have to place them in other type positions. Like I think some of our clerical folks have even gotten jobs at like Dollar General, Dollar Tree, like retail.
Right. Using that customer service skill that they learned while they're in-house, dealing with the outside public, but it's not where we'd like them to go.
Right.
No, I really like the direction that Mia wants to move in. I think that's beautiful.
I agree.
What other types of fields are we excited about this year, Val? There's some unions that you want to...
There are some apprenticeships that I want to look into, some union work that I think our women could potentially work with. It's just a matter of making those connections and having those conversations.
Because they want women in these unions.
Absolutely. It's
And we're not just talking about placing our women, like anybody from
Right.
our families.
Oh, yeah,
but
we hire
definitely,
everybody.
I mean, these are
everybody.
positions that women could be capable of doing too.
Right.
And they're asking for people in these unions and in that work.
Yeah, they are. One of the biggest ones right now that we were in conversations with last summer was the pipe fitters and the plumbers union.
Absolutely. And I think we're blessed too because we're part of the W.K. Kellogg Foundation's Workforce Consortium funded project between Michigan Works, Women's Co-op, Kellogg Community College, Community Action Agency, Goodwill Industries, and the Village. And with all of those partners all being focused on workforce development, I don't think there's really anything that you want to go in that one of us partners don't have the initial starting to that pathway. I mean, especially the college and the IAC program, my goodness, like they're doing some really amazing things
Yes.
over there that's really getting people into, because no, with a little bit of training, you're not going to get that six-figure salary, but you can definitely get started on a pathway that can lead you there if that's what you're really interested in.
Absolutely.
I mean, the climate in Battle Creek that I'm pretty proud of around this workforce consortium is it's not just, Mia, where can I get you a job? It's, Mia, where can I get you a job that pays,
Right.
that has benefits, that has a future for you?
Right.
Right. Where can I help you build your career, not just a job?
Yep, absolutely. So pretty proud of all that work, ladies.
Yeah.
And then Monday Mixers, who wants to talk about
So
that?
that's Kayla's gig. She loves it.
Kayla?
Yeah. Monday mixers have taken place of our mandatory Mondays. So now we're meeting every other Monday and doing like an activity. It's usually with our membership, but our membership can grow any day. Just anybody who has the heart for co-op. So we made cookies last Monday, and that was super fun. We got to have some of the ladies from the church come, and they baked cookies with us. And then we're going to make some Christmas cards next week. So it's just a really, really good time. We get to talk and be in relationship. We get to talk about, you know, just ourselves, our lives, what's going on at co-op, different places that, you know, everybody could lend a hand to help everything grow in that direction. So Monday mixers are, the time is usually different depending on what activity we're doing, but I believe that we decided Christmas cards next week will be in a morning activity. So that's nice that a lot of our women are able to take the time to come in and just be there with us.
And I think that answers the solution to offering more opportunities, recreational-wise, and things that you can be involved in, because all of our stuff is free, right?
Yep.
Right.
Like if you wanted to participate in the cookie thing, we asked you to bring your favorite ingredients, and then everybody made their own cookies, and then we all shared. But Kayla also brought bins from her house, so that if you didn't have baking things, there was stuff on hand for you. And I think that we do an amazing job of always making sure it's inclusive if you don't have the
Right.
tools you need. I know we're planning some line dancing this year with a member, Crystal, what is her last
Crystal
name?
Hall.
Crystal Hall is this amazing line dance instructor. So we're going to do this big event and pamper all the women and teach them line dancing. So I think
Yeah.
that's really fun and free to our members. Good way to get exercise. So we're doing a lot of fun things. If you're out there and you want to participate in our Monday Mixers, simply pick up the phone, call us, and somebody at the front desk will tell you what we have coming up. We can email you out a calendar of events. I think eventually we're planning on putting that on our website. It's just not up there now, but look for it later in 2023 because it'll be there. We've been collecting a lot of member stories. And we're excited about our 2023 lineup on Access Vision because we're going to rotate these shows. So we've had a topic generally every month that our production team helps us come up with. Thanks, production team behind the scenes. But this year we'd like to do that one month, and then the next month we want to have this series we kind of call But What About? So, but what about Valerie Whitney, who we never were able to solve the issues that she had because these were the barriers, and kind of challenge the community to engage with us and tell us what is supposed to happen to the Val that we couldn't help or support, or the Mia that we couldn't get a job for, or the Kayla that we couldn't get her driver's license back. Like,
Yeah.
what's supposed to happen with these folks? So we're very excited about that lineup.
I am super pumped for that. I am super duper pumped. I think that takes a lot of like judgment out of the air, where I think a lot of us, and I think it may be even human nature to judge, at face value, but to give somebody the space to speak on their own behalf. I think that takes a lot of judgment, and there's a lot of grace in that. And I think a lot of times the judgments of, especially people in poverty, are they're this, they're that, they're this. Why do you just do this? I would never allow myself to get to that point. I think it's just so beautiful to be able to give somebody a table to lay it out and bear themselves and be understood.
Absolutely, I agree. I mean, I think that it's very easy to have a job, be able to make it, and then say, well, Mia, just get a damn job. If you had
Put
a
yourself
job,
up
you
by
can make it.
bootstraps, Mia. Come on now.
Come
Worst
on, Mia, just
expression
do
in the
this
world.
thing, right? And or to be able to sit around the dinner table with our middle class friends and go, well, they just got jobs. If they started making, I hate this one. I really hate this one. If you make better choices today, this will affect your future. Dude, I'm trying. But the opportunities are not always there.
The choices
Absolutely.
I made are forced upon my
Necessity.
resiliency and the necessity of my life. Exactly.
Surviving.
And I'm still
Exactly.
surviving. I'm standing here in front of you while you're saying
Right.
this to me.
I'm still
Right.
surviving.
Still here.
So,
Still
yeah.
here, still breathing.
Doing something right.
Absolutely. Any last minute closing thoughts? Mia?
No, it just sounds like it was an awesome year. Sounds like it's going to be an even better year going forward. Guys got a lot of good stuff planned. I'm really excited about the Bridges Out of Poverty. Sometimes all it takes is a little incentive to teach somebody something that is, even if it's in their benefit, they don't know it's in their benefit necessarily at first. So that's probably my favorite thing right now.
Absolutely. I'm excited for that thing that you and Val will disclose to us later.
Yeah, later.
Yes, that's big. It's going to be huge.
Kayla, last minute thoughts, huge. That's one of Val's favorite words. It's huge.
I think I always have a lot of thoughts. So in this moment, I think I'm just really excited for this year and the work that we're going to do. I just know it's going to be good. And just like Battle Creek, being a part of Battle Creek and at the table with you women, like there's just nothing that we can't do. There's not.
I think I'm excited for the space in this new year, because this is a space where we can speak our truth and speak the truth of our families. And I think that's very necessary. And hopefully this year we can start promoting this show a little more.
Yeah.
And maybe this can be the thing that everybody watches in Battle Creek on Monday nights at 7, right? Right. Val?
I'm just really excited for the programming that we have coming up. I think there's a lot of things that we've always said we'd like to do, but we didn't have the partners or the folks at the table to be able to do it. And I think now with the new consortium, I think we have those partners at the table, and I think we can broaden what we're offering to our folks
Definitely.
in partnership with those folks. So, and I'm also looking forward to Mia's huge thing that's coming up.
Huge. Huge. It's huge, Kayla.
It's huge, Kayla.
All right. Thank you, Battle Creek, for joining us again. We'll see you next time.